Hello, everyone. My name is Tina Banks, and I'm your host today on Burrow's Best Podcast. And today I have the privilege of speaking to Rachel Smith, and she is the owner of Jackson Grace Boutique. Hello, Rachel.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
No
so
problem.
Tell us a little bit about how long Jackson Grace Boutique has been around and what inspired you to start it.
Okay, so I opened in, I think it was June of 2016, and I did photography prior to that for about 10 years, and
Wow.
My husband was in the Marine Corps, and we got sent here for recruiting duty orders, which was supposed to only be a 3-year temporary duty. And I was really having a hard time when we first moved here. The first year, I was pretty depressed. It was just me and my son, and he was only like 3. And, you know, sometimes you just need that adult interaction.
Yeah.
And while everybody in town was super nice, it was just very overwhelming to not have anybody at all that we knew. And my husband was working like over 100 hours a week. So I didn't have his support, or not support. We had his support, but I just didn't ever have him around. So I was literally like going through drive-thrus being like, hi, like, you guys having a good day? Like, just meeting people anywhere I could.
Yeah.
And even when I was doing photography, you know, you've only got that 30 to 60 minutes of time, but you're really just telling people how to pose. And so I wasn't meeting anybody in the community, and I wanted to find a way to kind of get into the community, and I'm a big business person. And I was just noticing that when I was shopping in town, I'm a little thicker, and I was even, I think, maybe 30 pounds heavier or so then, and I could not find any clothes in town that fit me in a stylish shop. And so I was like, you know, I feel like I want to find a place where I can have girls come where they can feel comfortable no matter their size,
That's it.
their age, and if they want to dress a little bit more modest sometimes. And so I thought that it would be cool to maybe start something where I could get to know people like that, but then also make them feel good in their own skin, no matter what size, shape they were. So that's kind of what encouraged me to start, which is weird because I never had a huge passion for clothes, but I always loved making people feel beautiful. Even when I did photography, doing boudoir photo shoots for women whose husbands were deployed, and I had a lot of insecure women that would come in and didn't think that they were beautiful, but they wanted to do something nice for their husband. And those were almost my favorite shoots because by the end of it, they were feeling gorgeous and feeling so comfortable in their own skin. And I loved that feeling. So it was great to be able to do that now and also meet people in the community. So
Exactly. So you're no longer doing photography, but you're still making women feel good and confident and beautiful in a different way.
Yeah, I hope so.
So how would you describe Jackson and Grace Boutique?
My goal for how I would describe it, I would say, is that it's a place that no matter who you are, whether you pick up trash for a living or whether you are a very successful, expensive bank or wealthy banker, or it doesn't matter who you are, we want everybody, no matter what they do, how much money they have, what shape they are, what age they are, to feel comfortable when they come in here. And I know with having to have employees, over and over again, that is very difficult to have everybody have the same goals and passions as you. But I really try my hardest to hire people who I feel have the same heart for the most part. And so I want people to just feel comfortable no matter what. We have customers tell us a lot that they feel comfortable here because they can come in their pajamas and they don't think that we're going to like look at them like, whoa, what are you doing? Because we're not like that here. So that's probably my goal for your feeling when you come in the store. It's just to feel comfortable.
Comfortable, no judgment zone here, guys.
Yes, you do you. If this makes you comfortable, you do that. If you do this, I mean, anything. We want everybody to feel comfortable.
Well, I know I do. The times that I have come by,
good.
I always feel good.
I hope so. I hope so. It's very hard sometimes to do that for everybody, but
yeah. But you guys do a great job of that here.
Thank you.
So, did you always know at some point in life that you would want to own a boutique at all, or when did you decide that this was something that you wanted to do? I
really didn't, honestly. It's funny, growing up, I was definitely the super, super youngest of 5 siblings. My 4 siblings who are older than me, they're half siblings, but I'm talking like literally my oldest brother could be my dad. That's how much different
Whoa.
in age he was from me. And so I was always basically growing up playing by myself. And my dad is a huge business person. My mom was a teacher, so she's not into business. But I always saw my dad's business side of things. And even then my sister grew up and she owns a hair salon. And it was a huge 2-story hair salon in Illinois. So she's a businesswoman. And I just loved the business aspect of things. And didn't think it would be clothes for sure, but I always grew up playing store. I would set up stores in my mom's, toy room and make grocery stores and make banks and make movie stores.
Wow.
I made a restaurant one time with no customers, but I stressed myself out so much with my pretend customers playing. So I think business has always been in my blood, but not clothes. I don't really know how that came about because I'm not, I see a lot of boutique owners or clothing store owners in the big cities and stuff, or just bigger, more successful online boutiques and stuff, and I'm like, their owners just look perfect. They are so stylish. They're in every video. They're so trendy. And then here I am, like, I'm in leggings and a t-shirt and my hair's in a messy bun. So I feel like I'm not your stereotypical like perfect looking boutique owner. But maybe that's what makes us a little bit different.
For sure. Because
I don't really know where the clothes factor came in other than wanting to find comfortable clothes that were trendy and comfortable for myself. So I know there's women like me out there. So I guess that's it. But I don't know how that happened.
That is reasonable. So what is your favorite part about being a boutique owner, or what's most rewarding for you?
I would say some of my favorite memories like that would stick out are the times when I've had women who come in and they're older, or they're what they call themselves very overweight, and they feel like, I know you probably don't have anything for me, but can you help me? And we'll, help them find their perfect outfit, and they go in the dressing room. We'll give them lots of things, and we'll say, whatever, we know that you might not think this looks good on the hanger, but this is super flattering. Just try it. And then they come out and they're like, well, I actually like this one and I kind of feel pretty. And that is like, that's it. That's what we do. And I unfortunately, now that we've grown a little bit, I'm not able to be up there as much because there's so much to do on the back end now.
Right.
But those times when I still get to go up there and hear that, or even sometimes I can hear it from back here, I'm like, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Because anything you can do to make those women who have either been told by somebody in their lives that they weren't beautiful, or that their size is not what's loved by everybody, you want to make those people feel like they are beautiful, because everybody is in their own way. So that's the highlight of it. And I will say another highlight for me, other than getting to know people in the community and hearing, we have customers that come in and have cried to us about their infertility struggles for 10 years, or they lost their dad in a car accident, or they've got cancer and they're struggling with their lymphoma and all of that stuff. Getting to know those people and praying for them, and they don't even know that we're praying for them, that is something I love. And then lastly, I would say is, I guess we've been open 5 years now, I think. That's a lot of different time frames to have employees coming in and out. And I know when I was in college, any of my employers I ever worked for, they did not pour into their staff. It was more just like, you're here for the money, and if you're not, we don't care, get out type of environment, putting their employees last. And with the exception of 1 or 2 employees, I've really been thankfully blessed. God's given me a lot of really great girls, but they're in college, and so they're going through the typical college struggles that, right now being older, it's like, oh, if you only knew that this stuff does not matter in 5 years, in 1 year. But to pour into them in their times of hardness from an older perspective, to just kind of give them hope and try to pour God into them a little bit without being too overbearing for them. That is something that I really love as well, because I feel like I joke that I'm like Big Mama Rachel over here, because I try to like mother them without being a mom, and like, so I kind of really like that aspect of it too. Yeah.
And they may not be able to see it now, but they will.
Yeah. I actually have a lot of girls that when they've graduated and left, they're like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to let you know, blah, blah. That's what half these notes are girls that have written back or current. So those are really encouraging words when, you have a really rough day or customers got upset or something, and to look back on the stuff that matters. And so, yeah.
Yep. You're definitely leaving your mark.
Trying to. Sometimes it might not be bad. People might have nightmares, but No, I'm just kidding.
So walk us through a typical day of a boutique boss. What does that look like for you?
Okay. Well, first I wake up and I've got a 3-year-old girl who is very sassy and ready to start her day early. So I get my oldest son off to school first, and then Brinley wakes up, and we spend a little bit of time together in the morning. That's some of my favorite times. I'm not a morning person, so I'm half a zombie when I'm there in the morning, but I do try to like really spend that quality one-on-one time with her first. And then once I get here, obviously I pick up coffee on the way or something. Once I get here, it's pretty go start from the time I get here. There's always usually a little issue we've got to work on as soon as we get here, as far as, we've got customer issues, returns, or maybe a system order issue processing we've got to address. The girls, thankfully, once I get here, they've already pulled the orders from online. But me and Ashton back here, the girl who sits over there, she's my back-end manager for the stock room and stuff. And so she does a lot of the inventory adding, and we kind of deal with that. And then just recently, this last year, I've really tried to focus on delegating my previous plate full of tasks out to the management team and focus more on growing the business, because we've never paid for marketing until this year for the first time. And so I'm really trying to focus more on that. So a lot of Skype meetings and Zoom meetings with businesses that are helping with that kind of stuff, and working with my social media manager to help grow outside of just Statesboro for once. So a lot of that, but close nonstop. Lots of stuff.
That's great though. I mean, business is growing, so you do have to have different systems in order to scale.
Yes, absolutely. It's very, very scary to scale, because sometimes you're like, what if I grow too much? Then we don't have the space or the team. But my staff has been awesome at accommodating and taking on tasks. They've asked, give me more things to do. It's fine.
Truly amazing staff you have here, Rachel.
Very blessed.
So what advice could you give someone that may be looking to start a boutique or a business?
Okay, I would say if it's in the boutique world, even if it's not a boutique world, definitely research. There are so many people, I feel like, who jump into, especially the boutique world, because they love clothes and they want to buy clothes for themselves. And so that's part of the extra, like, oh, I'll have all these extra clothes I can just take from it and then sell the rest. But they don't realize, in order to be successful, it takes work. And I mean, the first 3-4 years of my business, I was so much more stressed than I am now. I'm sure the girls who started off with me, especially in that second, third year where I was growing but didn't have anybody else to help grow, they probably saw the most stressful year or two of the store, because there's so much more that goes on in the back that people don't think about, that you have to do.
Imagine.
And people want to get the clothes. They want to have the fun parts of owning a boutique, but not the hard parts that goes with it. And I would just say, make sure you're truly researching it and jumping into things for the right reasons. Because if you're not, you're gonna fail, and you have to. Your heart has to be in the right place, and your mind has to be in that goal driven mindset to know that, like, it's going to take work. You may have to stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning putting in the hours that you don't get paid for if you're the owner at first. And just know that that's how it's going to be for a while. And if you're willing to put in the work, then you can go far. You got to do the research for the boutiques. Research Atlanta. Atlanta is a great resource for the style world, the boutique world, because we have the mart so close to us. I mean, it's drive away. That's lucky. You don't have to fly. Don't try to, go to other boutiques and take their lines and take what they're doing. Find your own niche and avoid looking at other places so that you don't look like everybody else.
That's good.
And putting in the work to go to Atlanta. It costs money. You got to get a hotel. You got to go to Mart. You got to spend hours on your feet picking out stuff. So as long as you're willing to put in the work, it's there. You can do it. You just got to put in that work.
That's good advice, guys. So if you're looking to own your own boutique, you have to put in the work and be prepared for it. You're not clocking out at 5 o'clock.
Absolutely. Yes.
For sure.
There's been many nights and days I have of regret still that I've put my kids and my family second because I didn't want to disappoint customers. A customer might write to you at midnight, and in my head I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if I don't respond right away, they're going to hate us. They're going to think we don't care about them. And I've had to get to that place where it's okay to wait till the next day when you get to work. But there are times at the beginning where you do, it's hard, that balance of you still got to remember that family is first.
Yes.
But sometimes in the growing phase, it's hard to they mix up a little bit.
But it does come around.
Yes,
but,
it does.
In time.
Yes.
And so, what is your favorite quote or motto that you live by?
So I feel like I have a few, but one that sticks out that we actually put on our car fresheners for Jackson Grace is Matthew 15 and 16. And it's let your light so shine before God that you might glorify your good works in heaven or whatever.
Yes,
and
that's a good one.
I like that one. I hear a lot of people say the phrase, you're not supposed to show show the nice things you're doing because you're not giving God the glory. And I do struggle with those balance because I hear this Bible verse and I think God wants us to shine our light and let others know what we're doing because it glorifies Him. And obviously I fail, especially certain years, if you have an employee who's got problems or causing problems, it's hard to let that light shine because you're battling your inner frustrations, or a customer comes in and has a problem and they're not happy. It's really hard to let your light shine, and there's definitely so many days that I've failed. But that in my mind, I kind of keep that in the back and just say, that's the point. And that everything we do, that's what it's for. Everything with the boutique. Anytime I ever track numbers, which I'm probably a really bad business owner because I think you're supposed to track your numbers every day and keep up with your goals. I don't do that because numbers aren't why I do this. But anytime I do check the numbers, I usually go in like, all right, we do a lot of giving, especially come December. And I'm like, all right, the more we make, the more we can do in December. I can't wait because that's my favorite time to do it.
That's awesome.
So that is also the let your light shine, which I wish we could tell those stories because there are so many cool things that God has done where He's literally spoke and we've been able to bless others in His name. But I struggle with telling those stories because I don't want it to ever come across like it's the store or me, but because it's not. It's God. But man, there's some cool stories I wish we could share. But
could. I may have to stay in here one or two. Yeah. Oh wow, I'm blown away. So let's pivot and talk about your favorite business in the borough.
Okay. That's definitely a hard one because, as you know, Statesboro has so many, like mama-owned or, family-owned places. I would say I am a foodie, so the first places that come to mind are, the different restaurants and stuff, but I gotta say Del Sur is probably one of my favorite locally owned places because those tacos are so good. I also do love all of our little local coffee shops. I couldn't even name just one. We got Cool Beans, Daily Grind, Eliano's, and I love that Statesboro has a lot of local businesses.
We really do. We're blessed with a little town here.
Yes, we got a lot of good ones. That would be so hard to just narrow it down to one.
Yep. Well, shout out to all of the ones she named. So please go out and support them. And before we leave, can you share with us the best way to connect with you on social media?
So we have a Facebook, we have Instagram, and TikTok.
Ooh.
Is that it?
I hadn't seen
I think
TikTok.
That's the only ones we actually use.
Okay.
TikTok's probably the most where you see our most weird stuff. We do a lot of silly stuff on there, so don't judge it because we're crazy sometimes. But you can follow us on TikTok at Jackson Grace, Instagram at Jackson Grace Boutique, I think, and then Facebook you can just search Jackson Grace. We have a Facebook page and a VIP group where you can get a little bit more behind the scenes first access stuff, and an app. Forgot we have an app.
Okay. So is that where you shop online? The app?
Which we have a website. You can shop online at jacksongraceboutique.com or an app. A lot of people prefer the app. It's a lot easier navigations and stuff they say. But yeah, you can do either one of those.
Awesome. So thank you so much for speaking with us today. And we will see you guys in the next episode.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Most definitely. Thank you.